It on the Twitter, and as he told you yesterday, Von Miller does need surgery. This for the dislocated tendon that happened Tuesday in practice. Ian says Miller is expected to miss the season. Miller is going to try to fight back. It's a 3-month injury at a minimum, absolute best case scenario. But Von Miller will need surgery on that ankle. Tough break there for the Broncos. Meantime, this from the Ravens when there is 3 days till Ravens football. Sam Cook, where you at? The punter, as we see the special teams without the punter. Justin Tucker, one of the best in the game, right there. All right, they get the Browns coming up on Sunday in Baltimore. Cleveland went into Baltimore last year and ran a lot and won. More on that coming up in a second. But you know what? They have a healthy Odell Beckham Jr. this year. Something that, despite the fact he played a full season, they never had last year.
I mean, for one, I can run. I could lift my leg up on a table. I could just do. It's crazy for me to look back and think about, kind of just how I made it through the season last year, because there was little motions that I couldn't even do. I couldn't put my leg up on the table. I couldn't do simple, basic motions, much less go against the best and the best week in and week out. So just being able to run and be healthy, I think it makes it a lot easier for him. And now this is the second year that we've been with each other. I think we've both just taken strides, both have been through a lot. So like I said, as the talks I've had with him, I know he's hungry and ready. And as far as specific examples, I don't necessarily know if I can give you any, just a bunch of overall feeling of we both want to be great.
We being Baker Mayfield. Nick Chubb is pretty great as well. Last year, week 4 in Baltimore, he ran for $165 and 3 touchdowns. Now combined, these two teams ran for 360 plus yards. So don't forget they can both run the football.
We're going to go against the Browns. They're a really good running team. They've got a big physical offensive line. They have, they by their own account, the 2 best backs in football, and not just this year, but going back historically, that's been said in their camp. So and I can see why. I mean, they've got 2 great running backs. The run game is going to be important to them. That's Coach Stefanski's bread and butter, going all the way back in that system that he's been a part of. And he talks about how important it is, and you can see it in the offenses that he's coached in the past. So, it's going to be a big part of what we do, and we're about to find out because we're going to play a really good running team on Sunday.
2 really good running teams. Hi, Aditi Kinkabwala. Hi there, Brian Baldinger. Let's not forget the Ravens ran for 2,000 yards collectively as a team last year, which is just mind-blowing. A lot, though, about these 2 run games, Aditi, and almost like some perceived disrespect there from John Harbaugh at one point this week. We do know, though, that Kevin Stefanski definitely wants to run the ball.
Well, absolutely, and that is where the whole play-action pass game starts from. And just now, about an hour ago, Ravens defensive coordinator Wink Martindale actually talked about how Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, the 2 Browns running backs, are 1 and 2 in his mind at breaking tackles. That's obviously a big deal this year, as there hasn't been any real practice tackling in any preseason games. But the big key here is that the Ravens spent this offseason specifically trying to shore up their run defense. That's in getting Calais Campbell, getting Derek Wolfe, of course, drafting Patrick Queen. And I asked Harbaugh, actually that same day, obviously, he needs to see his defense in a game. But just from looking at practice, does he feel that defense has improved? And Baldy, he gave me a classic coach answer. He said, well, I think they're working hard, and I think that, sure, they're trying, but I can't tell until Sunday. What do you think? From what you're seeing, how much better is this run defense?
Well, it had to get better. I think that Calais Campbell and Derek Wolfe and Patrick Queen are all there to try and shore up the run defense, because there were moments like against Cleveland last year where it wasn't very good, and Cleveland took it to them. And it was week 4, Dita, you mentioned they were in a YY formation, the 2 tight ends right here. They ran gut. Here comes the left guard in the center, and Nick Chubb just got behind the big hogs up front. They found a lot of splits. They ran this play over and over and over again against the Ravens a year ago. Here it is. Here's the exact same play right here. Here's your two tight ends. You're going to seal the edge with them. Farrell, Brown, Demetrius Harris. Here comes the guard. Here comes the center. They get to the perimeter, and they just let Nick Chubb break a tackle there, and then he's going to get you every blade of grass that's out there on the field. Occasionally, they would just put Farrell, Brown, or maybe this year a tight end in the backfield right here just to seal the line of scrimmage. And then you mentioned the number of missed tackles. I mean, you can count them right here on this 17-yard touchdown run by Nick Chubb. There's one right there by Matt Judon. There's one by Earl Thomas. All the way to the end zone, there were 4 missed tackles for that touchdown run. And then on this play right here, here's the same play, the same formation, and they ran at him again. I mean, if it works, why change it? Here comes the guard, here comes the center. This was the longest play from scrimmage by the Cleveland Browns a year ago. This is the longest run by Nick Chubb as a pro. 88 yards to pay dirt. He finished in the paint, outran the entire Ravens defense here. I'm sure that John Harbaugh has put this up there, and Wink Martindale has put this up there for the defense to look at. Just one thing to keep in mind here with Stefanski coming to town. Gary Kubiak was there in Minnesota last year. Gary Kubiak was in Baltimore in 2014 when Joe Flacco had his best season, Justin Forsett had his best season. John Harbaugh knows, exactly what Kevin Stefanski is capable of doing from understanding and knowing that system firsthand.
There's so much gamesmanship, and all the coaches have talked about that this week. No one knows anything. I don't know if we're good. I think we're good, but I do know this. They don't know what I know, and we're all going to throw curveballs. Like even today, Joel Bitonio said, Aditi, we don't know where Calais Campbell's going to line up. He's there, right? But we don't know where they're going to put him because we haven't seen anything on tape whatsoever. And you have a rookie left tackle out there in Jedrick Wills who is on an island.
Well, and that was exactly, Andrew, my question to Bitonio today is how do you help this rookie left tackle? Because, look, when we asked Calais Campbell earlier this week what he thinks, Campbell, of course, is one of the wiliest veterans in the NFL. He's been at this for a very long time. And we asked him, okay, so when you realize you're going up against a rookie left tackle and an offensive line that, quite frankly, has been in a little bit of flux this training camp, Andrew, Calais couldn't help but laugh. I mean, deep belly laugh. And then he said, okay, he's not starting at left tackle if the Browns don't believe he can be in that position. But then he laughed again and said, I hope my experience can be a factor. And so I had to ask Bitonio, how are you really going to help this guy? And he said, he remembers his own jitters as a rookie. He's counseling Jedrick. Take it one play at a time. But, Baldy, they have to do something schematically to help him here, don't they?
Well, Bill Callahan's the offensive line coach, Aditi, and he's been around a long time. He's had his share of rookie tackles, both right and left tackle, throughout his career. I think Bill Callahan will really gauge. His eyes will be on Jedrick throughout the game if he has trouble. Calais Campbell can play up and down the line of scrimmage. That's really his versatility. But I know Calais Campbell. He's a hard guy to block. He's very long. You can't get into his body. I'm sure that at Alabama, Jedrick Wills doesn't have anybody that he's played against that really is built like Calais Campbell and as tall and as long as he is. So I'm sure Calais wants to get his at-bats against the rookie left tackle. But Bill Callahan is there to help him if he needs it. By formation, put the tight end over there. Pull the guard to that side. There's a lot of things you can do to help out a rookie left tackle. Bill Callahan knows them all.
And a guy that played right tackle in college, too, so there's a position change here as well. And it's against Calais Campbell, who is one of the tallest humans, just largest humans you will ever meet. Baldy's great on Twitter. So is Aditi, but Baldy's great on Twitter. You want to see real funny Twitter content, just search for pictures of me and Calais Campbell. It'll make you laugh. Thank you, guys. Brian Baldinger and Aditi Hinkawala both back a little bit later. Coming up next, we'll get a Cowboys inside perspective about how things have changed under Mike McCarthy and how they are getting ready for their trip to Los Angeles coming up on Sunday. But it's now my turn to tell you that football is back. You know that in DraftKings is the official daily fantasy partner of the National Football League. And tonight only during the Texans-Chiefs opener at Arrowhead, new players can play free for the $1 million top prize with your first deposit. Download the app. Sign up using the promo code NOW. In the meantime, here's more from DraftKings.